Coming up, it's injuries again at Manchester United. Marcus Rashford and Antony joining the likes of Rasmus, Hojlund and Leny Yoro on the treatment table. So we're going to be getting into all that. Just what is going on with all these injuries at Manchester United? Let's check it out. Jay here from Stretford Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm not outside Old Trafford or in the studio or in my kitchen for that matter. I am in San Diego and it's pretty dark here, but I'm guessing it's daylight where you are. Loads of stories to get through, so we'll crack on. Before we do, make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. We're going to be talking about injuries because Manchester United, the season's not even started and it feels like already we're in a bit of an injury crisis. And I don't use that term lightly, but this is where we're at. We just had a recent game over Real Betis, a big win, a positive result, shall we say. Let's not get too carried away with the fact we won the Snapdragon Cup, whatever it's called. But it was a good win, a good performance, but yet again, injuries rear their ugly head. Now, we've already got Leny Yoro out of action for around 3 months with what's believed to be a broken metatarsal. Rasmus Hojlund is out for 6 weeks with his hamstring. Both of those players picking up an injury in that game against Arsenal in the SoFi Stadium. That was a bit of a disaster. Then we have the game against Real Betis. You want to see the team get through that game without any injuries. And what happens? Marcus Rashford, a player that you don't want any players to get an injury, but a player that is a vital one. He gets an injury after he scored as well, looking lively, looking good. He gets an injury and he's out. And also Antony ends up limping off too. So another 2 players on the treatment table. We don't know the nature of those injuries, how serious they are. We just saw Marcus Rashford coming through the mix zone not that long ago and he was limping. He looked like it wasn't like severe limping, if you can sort of grade the standard of limping, but he obviously had a bit of an issue there. So that's 4 players that have got injuries, 2 of whom are going to be out for the start of the season because of those injuries, and then another 2 in Antony and Marcus Rashford, where we're waiting to get an update. Now, this is a serious problem for Manchester United. Last season, we missed so many players, so many key players as well, at vital times because of injury. Lisandro Martinez basically missed almost the entire season. Thankfully, he's back in time for the FA Cup final, but we missed him for pretty much everything up till then. Luke Shaw missed around 2/3 of the season, I think it was. I think his last game, or last time he played 90 minutes, was in February. Tyrone Malacia did miss the entire season. Rafael Varane missed a load of games. Johnny Evans missed a load of games. Rasmus Hojlund wasn't fit when he arrived, and he had another little bit of an injury, so he was missing games. I mean, Mason Mount, who was our marquee signing, he missed a big chunk of the season. I don't even think we've really seen anything from Mason Mount so far, and I'm not criticising him. He's just not been able to quite get going because of the amount of injuries he had in his first season. It has been pretty ridiculous. And we saw a situation last season where we had the likes of Casemiro at centre-back. We had Aaron Wan-Bissaka at left-back, or Diogo Dalot at left-back, or Victor Lindelof at left-back. We saw Harry Maguire come into the team, do very well, get player of the month for November, then get injured. It was unbelievable how many injuries Manchester United have. And with certain players, Lisandro Martinez in particular, you're losing someone who is key to the way we want it to play, to the way Erik Ten Hag wants to play from out and back. Such an important figure in that Manchester United team, not just for his defensive capabilities and the way he defends, but also for the way he carries the ball out of defence as well and receives it from the goalkeeper. And we've not really seen that yet because we've not seen Martinez and Andre Onana play together. We saw them briefly, but not properly, and it's just been really frustrating. And then the one thing that we've spoken about on the channel, I've heard you guys in the comments mention it, we've seen it on social media, we've been talking to a lot of journalists, a lot of fans out here, everyone's saying the same thing. We don't want to see any injuries. We want to see Manchester United have a campaign that isn't injury ravaged, and already that seems to have gone out the window. The big signing so far in Leny Yoro, he's missing 3 months, like I said earlier. And Rasmus Hojlund, the striker who you wanted to see hit the ground running this season, had a good positive first season, I felt. This season could have been a one where he kicked on a little bit. He's missing the beginning of the season. And Marcus Rashford, a player who's got something to prove, in my opinion, he's going to miss, we presume he's going to miss something because he went off injured. Also, Antony. Now, I've not been Antony's biggest fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't want to see him get injured. I'm not a complete dickhead. You don't want to see him get injured. You want to see him in the team. You want to see him, well, not necessarily in the team. You want to see him in the squad. You want to see him at least attempting and trying to get back in the team and offer something, and he can't do that if he's injured. So it's become a bit of a shambles already. Really frustrating. And I do worry. I was saying this yesterday on Transfers Live when me and Joe were chatting. Erik Ten Hag had a bit of leeway. He had a bit of leeway when it came to what happened last season, because I think Ineos, when they were assessing things, would have looked at it and gone, okay, 8th isn't good enough, but those injuries. so many injuries, revolving door at centre-backs, in defence in general, missing key players at vital times, will almost let you off that season, because you had a very good first season, and even the second season you ended up winning the FA Cup. So we can forgive you, and the injuries played a part. I don't know if they're going to keep doing that. If Erik ten Hag this season, or the end of the season, or he's struggling during the season, turns to Ineos and says, injuries again, are they going to be as accommodating as they were when they assessed him after that second season, or their first season, if you will? I don't think they will. I think Erik ten Hag can't rely on the sort of the excuse, if I can call it that, or the reason that injuries are playing a part. United have to fix up. But the trouble we've got at Manchester United as well, we don't just seem to have this sort of blank checkbook where we can go, right, we've got injuries, let's just go out and buy a load of new players. Yes, we're still in the hunt for the likes of Matthias de Ligt. That transfer looks like it's still in the pipeline. Also looking at the right back, Nuzir Mazarui. We're in for him. Looking at Manuel Ugarte, looking at one or two other players. But we don't have a lot of money to spend, and it seems like there is still this sort of we've got to sell to buy policy going on at Manchester United. So it's not going to be a quick fix by transfers with all these injuries. This video is brought to you by Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. And Manscaped have done it again. They have excelled themselves with the Performance Package Ultra 5.0, and using the code Paddock Tour, clicking on the link in the description, you get 20% off and free shipping. And not only as part of the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra do you get the Lawnmower 5.0 with the two interchangeable skin-safe blades, you also get all that good stuff that you know and love from Manscaped. You get the Weed Whacker for your nose and ear hair. You get the Crop Preserver, the Ball Toner, so you look nice and smell nice down there. You get the Boxer Briefs. You've got a nice package to put your performance package, if you want to call it that, in. You've got the Shed Travel Bag, which is actually what your performance package does go in as well, so you can carry all that good stuff around in your Shed Travel Bag. You've got all that, and you've got 20% off, and you've got free shipping using the code Paddock Tour. So check out the link in the description, click on it, go and treat yourself or your better half to something nice. Look the part and smell the part this summer, because it can get a bit, messy and sticky down there. But with Manscaped, they've got you covered. Now, you look at some of the youngsters. Harry Hamas, who's a player who came in to the squad during this pre-season and has done quite well. I think he's progressed. I thought his first performances, I think was it against Rosenborg, you look at it going, Rangers a little bit better, and then last couple of games he's looked really positive, really done really well. He spoke to Stephen Howson after the Real Betis game, and he's doing himself justice. He really is. And at 17 years old, the sky's the limit for this kid if everything goes according to plan. Do you want to be throwing him in though? I know it's not necessarily in that position where, well, it is in that position. I was going to say not that position where we've got the only injuries, but it is because Luke Shaw's not back yet. So there is a bit of a question mark there because Tyrone Malacia is not fit. So you might end up relying on Harry Hamas. Do you want to throw in a 17-year-old into defence who's still learning his craft? It's one thing in playing in pre-season, playing against the likes of Real Betis and Rosenborg and all the rest of it. But if you're going to put him in the Premier League in big games and he makes a mistake, or his form drops a little bit or whatever, he's against some tough opponents, could that affect his long-term progression? It's not ideal, is it? And I know this is the club of Manchester United where it's Matt Busby, where it's Sir Alex Ferguson, where we say, you know what, if you're good enough, you're old enough, but I still worry about throwing youngsters, especially in defence. You look at maybe the option of selling some of the players that have been linked with the move, the likes of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, likes of Scott McTominay. Maybe you can make some signings there, but it's not ideal, is it? Manchester United needs to look at what is going on with these injuries. It can't be a coincidence, this. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know what is going on, but it's something that needs to, we hear about these marginal gains with Dave Brailsford. A marginal gain for Manchester United right now would be staying a little bit injury-free, because adding Marcus Rashford and Antony to the injury list we've already got from this pre-season alone, it just isn't great, is it? Get involved in the chat in the comments. Let us know what you think. How concerned are you about the injuries? What do you think Manchester United should do? Is there anything Manchester United can physically do to address this? Have you seen something you think, if we did this or we changed this, maybe we'll get a better outcome? I'm not so sure. It's just really deflating. But there's been a positive result. Don't be too doom and gloomy. We've got the Scousers coming up in South Carolina. We're going to be following that. Make sure you are hitting like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.